Hey everybody, it's Rick Trummer from Rick Trummer Consulting and Training. Thanks for joining in. We're going to be doing color again this week, but now we're switching kind of our paths a little bit, and we're going to be moving to the two different applications that process raw files for Photoshop. Either the ACR application that's inside the bridge. For those of you who have never worked inside the bridge, it's a free application that's included with Photoshop. It's absolutely free of charge. It's a browser mechanism. So when you go into the bridge, it will find your file right away. There's no importing and exporting out of that application. It's merely putting files in folders and those folders being found instantly once you put them in there. The file's in there and make the folder. Inside the Lightroom application, you actually have to import the files in and then you export them out. But both ACR, Adobe Camera Raw, and Lightroom are very similar in design. A matter of fact, they're almost identical as far as the design concept is concerned and their control panel. They have slightly different algorithms, but beyond that, they're pretty much the same. So this week, we're going to be concentrating on the bridge. Tomorrow, I'm going to show you how to actually get all of your processing done through the image processor. And on Thursday, I'm going to show you how to use some of the tools inside there to import images in there quickly from your camera card. But today, we're going to be taking a look at how to actually use color, some of the color techniques that we used previously to be able to put those on each individual file and to start the processing phase. I always photograph some sort of a card, whether it be a Macbeth color checker, or just a standard gray card. Most of the time, 99% of the time, I'm using the X-Rite color checker passport. It's an awesome piece of equipment, people. If you remember, when I started this color process, I was talking a lot about an old color Macbeth color checker that I had inside my pocket that I used for years. And along comes the X-Rite color checker, and now you've got a program that you can use. And I'm going to show you how to use that programs in later video or inside the actual systems itself. I'll show you how to do that in later videos. But in this video, we're just simply going to be using the actual chart to white balance it out. All we need to do is to take our controlled image, which is the first image in the series. So every time I do a shoot, I always shoot a control image. That's after I meter. The first thing after that is photographing the Macbeth color checker or the color checker passport from X-Rite. So I'm going to take this image into our application. If you do a Command R or Control R from your bridge application, it'll automatically open up inside the ACR application. Inside here, you'll notice to the right, the tools are very, very much the same as they are in Lightroom, except we have tabs here going from left to right instead of arrows going down on the right-hand side of the screen. We have a lot of control in where we want to put certain things. For the most part, all we need is the basic control, just like you would be using in Lightroom. You'd be using kind of that basic tab, uncollapsing that and checking most of your stuff. I found if you're using a light meter and that light meter is calibrated to your individual cameras, then everything else will kind of just fall itself into place. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually go into the basic tab, and I'm going to go over here into my toolbars menu over here in the upper left corner and click on the white balance tool. It's the third tool over here on the left. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into the neutral area in here, and I'm going to click one of the gray points. Let's just click on that middle gray. It doesn't matter which gray we take. You'll notice that if you do click on white or if you do click on black, you'll get a slight difference in color. This program really is designed, and it's the same for Lightroom, is really designed on hitting a gray point. So I'm going to hit one of those middle gray points and neutralize the color just a little bit. Now, one of the things about the Macbeth color checker and this color checker passport, I should say, is that these items here in the middle are all different shades of gray that you can go in and set warmer or cooler color tones by clicking on these different units of grays. It's a nice little feature that they have inside using this device. So if you like to keep your stuff a little bit warmer or a little bit cooler, you would click on the left side has more cooler items, the right side has more warmer items. So if you want to get away from the standard neutral color tone, like by just clicking on a gray, you would use this block right in here. It's a great little convenience in here. Let's actually warm this up a little bit. Remember, if your monitor is calibrated, anything that you click balance onto is going to be neutralized and be able to go to the next stage. So I'm going to click on use this little this item here and just warm this up just a little bit from neutral. So I've used kind of the fourth gray point over here on the right hand side. Let's take a look at what that looks like between the two. Here's my neutral point. You can see it goes much cooler. It's very neutral. We thought it was very, very neutral before, but now coming over here and doing a little bit more of a warmer shot, you can see that it's changed the color quite a bit. So once we've made our color adjustment that we want to be able to do, and you've got your exposure and your contrast and all of this controls, and you've done everything that you want to do inside all of these items over here, okay? All of the tabs, you've made all of your adjustments, and we'll discuss more of these tabs later in the week. But once you've made all of those adjustments, all you have to do is hit the done button. What happened is that has set kind of a tone now for the rest of the images that we're going to process inside the actual file itself. So from here, we've got the color adjusted. We're going to click on the next image in the set, and then we're going to go to the end of it, where we're going to see the end right here. Now, we're just selecting these. So what I did is I clicked on the first image and I shift-clicked it to the last image in the series. You can see that it says I've selected 36 items. Now, I do not have to bring these into ACR. There's a very, very quick way of doing this. If you, on your Macintosh, if you hold down your control button, if you right-click on your PC, you'll be able to click on any one of these images, and you'll notice that a dialog box appears. This is the dialog that appears. You can see that there's a bunch of different items in here. You can move to the trash. You can do all kinds of things. But one of the items in here is develop settings. So if you go to develop settings, you'll notice that you have a quick key to go to a bunch of pre-done different things that we've done here, presets that we've put in. I'm going to show you more about presets later in the week. But one of the ones here at the top is previous conversion. So if you go into the previous conversion, it's going to set the color exactly the same way as it did from when we set the first image. This will take you away from having to deal with you putting all of those files inside Camera Raw and then having to come back here and do it. Now, once we have all of these files selected, we are then going to be going through the image processor, which I'm going to take you through tomorrow. So I hope you've enjoyed this video in the series that we have for this week. Again, this week we're going to be discussing kind of the neat things that happen inside the bridge. Next week we're going to be discussing Lightroom. I'm hoping you're having a start of a wonderful holiday season. And thanks again for joining Rick Trummer from Rick Trummer Consulting and Training.